So I got something special for you guys today. For those of you who don't know, my name is Cade Zube, and this past summer I put out my debut album as a producer called Here on Earth. From beginning to end, this project pretty much took roughly 2 years, and luckily we were able to film a lot of that process. So what I want to do today is kind of go through that footage and break it down for you guys, for anybody who's thinking about making an album as a producer, or even not as a producer, just putting together a project. So like anything in life, there's a million different ways that you can get to where you're going, but I just want to share kind of the path that I took to finish this project. Before I put out this project, I had worked on a couple different albums, and one of them was called Keef with an artist named Genesis Renji, and we worked on that in 2019, released that in 2019. It seemed like the feedback from Keef was really good. People really seemed to like it, and one of the people who enjoyed it was an A&R from Atlanta named Johanse, and he got in contact with us, and he actually offered to bring us down to Atlanta and show us around the Atlanta music scene, which was super cool, super inspirational for me. We were able to stay at his house, sleep on his couch for like a week, but I was able to see the way different people kind of go about making music and being creative in that kind of scene. So that really inspired me, or helped me to lock in the idea that I do want to make my own project and kind of start getting things going. And I was able to say to myself, like, okay, let's do this. Let's start working on the next project. The first thing you're looking for when you're making a project is the inspiration. With that comes an intention for your project. And I think no matter what kind of creative process you're going through, you should always come back to the intention. And everything that you do should be centered around that. Otherwise, it's pointless, in my opinion. So I had the intention, but then I needed like a vibe for the album, or a tone. I was able to call back on an experience that I had maybe a year or two before. It was a dream that I had, actually. And in that dream, I was able to come up with the album cover idea for Here on Earth. The album cover was kind of like the start to everything. That was like the jumping off point for the album. I had a dream, and in that dream, I was literally the point of view of the album cover itself. Like, I was in that room, I saw like the windows and the couches and everything, and then when I woke up, I had a journal right next to my bed, and I pulled it out and I drew like exactly what I was seeing. So like the chairs and the windows, and then I just kept that in that notebook for like a year or two. And I'm like, if I ever have an album or anything, like I want that to be the album cover. So basically from there in Atlanta, I started to pull together different beats and make new ones that kind of fit the process, or fit the idea that I wanted for the album. I actually started making the beat for It's a Beautiful Thing in Atlanta, in Johanse's kitchen, and I think I have a clip of that somewhere. After I finished the beat, I posted a little clip of that on Instagram, and Maul, who actually ended up on the song, commented on it, and he said, "That's mine." And I was like, all right, you can have that one. So we got Maul on there, and I feel like that beat was just perfect for him, because he's able to tell stories so fluidly. Like, he's just very visual, and he doesn't spare a single detail with his lyrics. So I knew for a fact that I wanted him on that one. And that whole process started before I even knew that this was going to be like a full-length project with different artists. So in the beginning, it was just supposed to be a beat tape, and I knew I wanted like 10 tracks. So as I was accumulating these beats, I was spending a lot of the time, trying to get like a smooth transition between tracks and like a full body of work. Every day I would listen to the beats, either on my way to school, on my way to work. I would listen to it in my car, do a car test like every day. And that was a really big part of the process, was just getting that order of beats and knowing what instrumentals I wanted to be on the project. So once I had like a pretty good set list in mind, I brought just the beats to a couple different people and just had them give me their response to just the beats, just the vibe of the project. And there was a lot of really good insight there even before there were any artists on it, because I was able to see which beats people gravitated towards, how they reacted to just the energy of the album itself. Through that process, I was able to get feedback, and a lot of people were saying that they think artists would sound good on a lot of these beats, you know, and a lot of people were pushing me to make it something more than just a beat tape. That kind of made the snowball start rolling a little bit and gave me the idea to kind of turn this into something bigger and more in depth.
Bus tickets, trying to get that extra ride. We bugging, no pesticide, praying that they let you slide. If you get caught, then you just praying that you catch a ride. Or you just walking, I believe it, but you don't want to see it. You don't want to see it.
So once I feel like I had a solid set list in mind, I started thinking about artists and, you know, what kind of voices I want on the album and what would sound good with the certain tracks that I had. Working with artists was the longest part of this project. Like I said earlier, this was about like a 2-year process. From the first vocals that we had sent in to the day it was done was over a year. And it's all just about dates right now. Like, when is this gonna happen? When do we need to do this? And just that whole process has been hopefully the hardest part of making an album. Working with 15 plus artists and organizing all that and getting all their schedules to work. That's the part that's not really up to me. So that's where you need patience. Like I said, it was over a year was the whole recording and working with artists process. I could take that time and work on visuals, work on figuring out what I wanted the singles to be, just all different kinds of things that I was trying to do for the first time. And it was extremely overwhelming, I will admit. It was super stressful, but you just got to know that you're working towards this goal that you built for yourself, and if you really want it, then you just got to keep going, keep doing it, because it's not going to be what you initially think it's going to be. It'll always be changing.
Felix Ramsey's about to add some vocals to Clarity off Here on Earth coming soon.
Yeah, you said just
keyword.
We got my man's on the board.
Oh, okay, perfect. So it was like how I envisioned it.
Yeah, I wanted to bring you in to kind of bridge the gap between AR's verse, which is one main vocal, and Classic's verse, which is like 10 lyrics. So it's something melodic, but simple enough so we can kind of
Put it together.
levels, you know?
I'm already knowing.
Ins and outs. Yeah. Yep. If you know what you want to do, let's do it.
Yeah, let's try.
Fuck yeah.
I see my future clearly, won't so blindly.
When it came to the mixing and recording process, the majority of it was done at Studio 201X with an engineer named Lucian Parker, who's also on the album. He has some vocals on the album. And I just want to give a huge shout out to him because he did so much work and he was able to put up with me. And as my first time making an album, I'm sure it wasn't easy for anybody involved. We were all kind of just trying to go as we go and figure out the process as it went. So big shout out to him for staying patient and doing all this work. All right, so we're here, Studio 201X, here with my boy Jack and Lucian, and we're gonna be working on Here on Earth today. We got Roswell in the back with Von Alexander and Mickey Fax.
For the listeners, beginners will get it and start flipping cause it's venomous. One more time.
I was like, who the fuck is Bob? Totally different guy, yeah.
Look, and as it all falls down, staring through the spider lights. Fuck. With a vital, I've been out here trying to get it, kept my time attentive. I'm looking in the eyes of rivals relevant. Fuck her. Yeah.
Maybe only if Pro 2 just...
Von's having fun. He's loose now. Let's get all this. It's gonna be a great take.
It's gonna be a great take, guys.
Look, and as it all falls Down staring through the spiral, I see weakness in my idols. I'm starting to think this game is just a lost cause. No one cares to hold the title. Relevance is more than viral. I've been out here trying to get it, kept my time attentive. Looking in the eyes of rivals, reflective of suicidal missions. In the highest sense, got my eyes wide, mind on the best decisions. I need my pockets to be as large as an expedition for this exhibition. The wisdom displayed as if it was television. Niggas can't see me crystal clear. I know this shit gonna look amazing on there.
Oh yeah. Straight to the back.
I think it'd be cool if we started with just him, and then as it goes, it builds.
Whoa.
Record that.
Trippy, man.
Just her high harmonies and her main harmony, like not the lower one.
I just gotta take my time. I know I'ma get worse.
I like it. I think it sounds good. Oh, and I got live cello too
Swear.
from Mall Song.
Yeah. That's hard as fuck, bro.
So out of the songs that we worked on so far, which one do you like the most?
I still fucking like the one with that leak
Oh, yeah.
dude, bro. I love
You
that
got
song.
it.
Yeah, there's no way.
I love that song, bro. It's just like it's such a unique.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's so different.
Yeah, like nobody else. Like I don't know. There's no other song like out there like that.
It's like the best compliment you can ever give as an artist, right?
Yeah, that song's yeah, right. Like nobody else has been. That shit's raw as fuck.
So one of the things that we were able to focus on during the recording process while we were waiting for different artists to send in their vocals or live instruments to come in was visuals for the album.
Hey kid, I think I want your phone recording too, over by you on the piano somewhere, like the audio, just in case the audio gets muffled.
Okay. So we had to think about the whole marketing scheme for the album and what sort of visuals we wanted to complement the music itself. So we ended up doing 2 teasers, a trailer, a couple lyric videos, and then just some like random Instagram content just to help promote. So I was able to bring in a friend of mine, Jack Novotny from VatnyFilms, and he was the big hand behind all of this stuff, and he knows what he's doing with the visuals more so than I do. So I'll let him kind of explain that and go through our process as we work together to get those visuals done on time and in a way that made sense with the rollout of the album.
I'm Jack Novotny, and I am the owner of VatnyFilms and Co. For my portion, we're going to be talking about the process of making the visuals. Everything from pre-production to production to post-production, releasing and everything. I think people underestimate how much work needs to be done in the pre-production process, considering if everything is not done correctly in pre-production, the production day of shooting and all your shooting is going to be terrible. It's nice to know where you are and where you're going to be before you even begin. We wanted to reflect what high school was like, and I think we did a very accurate job of doing that. We took a lot of time and effort into thinking about what we should include and what these students should be doing. And especially for the talent that we had, students doing a lot of things that I remember doing in high school and what Cade remembers doing in high school, especially the tipping on the chair.
I remember doing that.
Yep. I did that so much.
I remember always hearing the clock tick when it was quiet in the room, making the days go slower and slower. So Cade and I, we met with our old film teachers. We did a couple Zoom meetings and met in person a couple times, and we told them about this project that we had. And then we met with the principal and got the okay because we filmed it after school, so we have to like reserve the room and things like that. This project for us basically became a project for a group of students. So their project was to act in this for us and help us out, which was pretty cool. It's like giving back to the community a little bit. And I think everything went smoothly considering the amount of work that we did in the pre-production process, from the scripts to the storyboards to location layouts and shot layouts and everything like that. But
Alright guys, just got done filming the third day for the last scene we needed for the trailer here. This is our first shoot with a couple young actors as well as a teacher actor. Everybody did great. Everything was awesome. Was very stressed out coming into this, but the way we prepared and had everything ready was very crucial and helpful to what we had to do, and we got everything done quick. It was perfect. Can't wait to edit this all together. Hopefully it's done next week, and I can't wait for everybody to see it. It's gonna be fantastic.
working with all the actors on that day was super awesome. Being able to show off all my equipment and all my lights and show people that I can really make a production if I set my heart out to it. Some other visuals in the pre-production process: the Thursday teaser with Cade's finger running over the calendar, the woods teaser. We found a location. Unfortunately, it's outside and it's January.
It's currently 11 degrees out.
The wind chill was definitely in the negatives. My equipment was being super faulty. We just came up with the spinning teaser, pretty basic.
I need to show the people how jerry-rigged this setup is right now.
Jerry-rigged
The camera on top of a side stool.
with some paint cans on the bottom.
Paint cans to weigh it down.
Wind to this Exo Lab chair. I would get right here on the ground and spin. Make it slow down. I had to make sure it was perfect in frame to fit the frame behind us and Cade.
In the end, we decided to do 3 different lyric videos. We did one for Roswell, one for Ride Home, and one for Thursday, the single of the album. For Ride Home, we put the lyrics in the rear view camera so that the eye would be focused on the center of the frame the entire time reading that. You're looking in your rear view mirror, like the past of your life, while the future around you is moving forward. For Roswell, I had to create this 3D globe and have it spin on a different axis and animate that stuff together. That was definitely the hardest one to create. Working with Cade in post-production was great.
No video shoot is complete without a stop at the Taco Van.
Gabrielle's. Home of the Gabrielle.
Home of the Gabrielle.
I think my favorite part was being able to be the guided assistance for Cade, because I go to school for film and I know all the back end things as well as the front end, but it was nice to have him depend on me, and he was just such a good partner to work with. So I think that was just the best part, was being trusted and somebody having faith in what you do and knowing that you can get it done. Let me know, get in the link with Cade and I and the rest of our group, and we'll set you up. It'll be great.
As you can see from the process of the album, this was a really ambitious project for a first album. Even with everything that did work out, there were a lot of things that didn't go as planned, and I think that's really important to talk about too.
So I asked her, I said, hey, I'm putting in my personal device, like that has the backup of all of my shit on it. Mm-hmm. Is it gonna be fine? I was told everything would be okay. Okay, in the process of doing that, she did a bunch of shit that literally replaced everything on my hard drive with the OS. Okay. In the process of doing it. Point being, it doesn't mean that we can't finish your album. What it means is that it's a setback.
Not only was this a full-length project with over 19 different artists on it, we also had all the marketing, all the filming, all that stuff to work on. And there were also aspects of this release that didn't come to fruition. So we had plans to do a clothing line for the album and put out different pieces. We had gone to a couple different venues in search for a place to have a release party, and we actually had some really good ideas, but you know, just with everything that we were working on, the timeline got smaller and smaller and came up on us faster than we were hoping. So it's just a lot of stuff that we had to do before the release, and those few things weren't able to come to fruition, which was fine. Question for our viewers about the word fruition. 03 Jibo over here says that it comes from the Latin root for wishing. So, you know, drop some literary comments down below and we'll try to school this man's. I see what you're saying. There was actually an entire song on the album that we recorded that didn't even make it to the album.
Beautiful, fearless, deadly silent without you here with me.
Just because it didn't really fit the overall vibe of the project. So you just got to be ready to kind of throw things away if they needed to be thrown away and change things as they go. The whole process is very fluid and it's just a bunch of moving pieces. So you do what you got to do to make a satisfying end product. And sometimes that means cutting out some things that you're really excited about, which is fine.
Good, how are you?
Pretty good.
Cheddar, inside.
Cheddar.
Yeah, my cat. Good to see you.
So with all the things that we had going on, it was a lot of pressure on me and Jack, and I'm sure Lucian, to get all these things done before timeline. So that was tough on us. About 3/4 of the way through that process, though, we were set to release the single on the project Thursday.
I'm Jane Joyce.
I'm Mo City.
Thursday, out now, produced by Cade Zube.
When that came out, that one, it seemed like people really enjoyed that song. So we were able to take a break from the whole busting everything out and making sure all these things fit together properly to kind of sit back and be like, okay, we put this out and we have a lyric video for it and we have like visuals and stuff. So that worked out really well. And the response on that song was awesome.
They played Thursday at the bar we were at.
When?
Last night.
Like randomly? Like you were just at a bar? And
Yeah,
like, there was...
and I went to go get a drink and I tried to pay for it and she goes, no. She's like, I heard your new song. It's dope as fuck. And then they played it.
That's
there was like
fucking
200
crazy.
people in there, dude.
That's
it
fucking
was so
nuts.
crazy. That's like, I feel like that's like I made it.
You hear that? You hear that? You hear that? Hey, stream Thursday. Stream Thursday on all streaming platforms. Right now. Right now.
So with the success of that track, that kind of gave us a boost to finish the rest of the project and kind of gave us a reminder that we're doing this for a reason and people are starting to enjoy the things that we're coming out with. So as daunting as the project was because of just how ambitious it was and how much of a time crunch we really had, that was just a nice turn of events or change of pace that kind of put us back on track.
See you.
Hello, Marimba Mike here, reminding you that although life here on Earth might seem strange, you must always remember that things change.
Here we go. This shit is great, man.
So even though it felt like the process took forever, eventually we did get all the vocals in. We got everything mixed down and mastered, and we finally had a finished product for the album. So in order to make sure that the album was placed where it needed to be and that I was able to collect the royalties that I needed to be collecting on behalf of all the artists, I put the song on DistroKid so that it was able to be distributed to different streaming platforms. I put the songs on Songtrust. I registered with ASCAP, and I also put all the songs on SoundExchange. Finally, after all this was done, we were ready to release the album on July 3rd, 2021. That was not the original release date for the album by any means. I think that was like a couple months after I had originally planned. In all fairness, I kept wanting to add more and more things to our list of what needed to be done. So at a certain point, you just got to know when enough is enough. You have to go through and listen. And I went through and listened to the album so many times. And just at a certain point, I'm like, all right, this is ready. We're coming up on the release date that we were aiming for. And I'm going to be honest, after 2 years of working on this, I was ready to be done. I was ready to work on the next thing.
And I just uploaded Here on Earth to DistroKid to be distributed to all of the streaming services. That means the album is officially done. It's a good feeling. Good feeling.
even after the album was out, we were still releasing certain things. We put out lyric videos and different social media content. So there's a pre-release, which is where you're going to be doing the most of the work. There's the release itself, which is like a day of work and making sure you have everything solidified and ready to release. And then there's post-release, and that's making sure that everybody knows what you did. Wanted to give you guys a little post-release update. Today I was sending Thursday and Ride Home out to different radio stations and, you know, different kind of publications and stuff, trying to get it placed, trying to get a placement. And WSME 91.7 here in Milwaukee said that they already played Thursday a couple weeks ago, and I didn't even know. So that's really cool. That's a bucket list item that I can cross off the list. Needless to say, I was very happy with the project. I am extremely thankful to everybody who helped out on it. Like, you have no idea. You have no idea. So many people were very helpful. I couldn't have done this without the many people that were included, and it wasn't just me. So thank you, everybody, for that. And thank you, everybody who listened, because I got a lot of good feedback on the album itself. That just makes you feel good at the end, and knowing that it wasn't for nothing, you know.
But I can't go back. Mad to the same shit, niggas still on the same shit. Paint drips and they plans gon' match. And then on fire, trying not to get burned. She can make you burnt out if you had no wax. You niggas can't hold a candle to me. I'm wick lighting the bombs. I'm wick like I was John. I'm fish fighting the job.
All in all, it was a very long and daunting process. But looking back at it, as stressed out as I was, I think I felt the most comfortable being stressed out than I do not having something to work on. And that's just me personally. I kind of enjoyed the stress at a certain point because it was a reminder that I was getting things done and I was pushing my comfort zone. So think about that as you're working on your project. There will be times when it gets really hard and when you're asking yourself, like, why am I even doing this? Is this what I should be doing with my time? Is this going to be worth it? If you really care about what you're doing, you just need to push until it's done. And even if it doesn't turn out to be exactly what you hoped, you still made something. You've created and you've produced, and I think that's just a really good feeling no matter who you are. Hopefully this video has helped you guys out a little bit for anybody who's trying to do something similar. If you want me to go deeper into detail on any of the parts of this video, I can definitely do that. This was a really in-depth process for me, and I was able to do a lot of things for the first time. And I think even outside of a music perspective, that had a lot of impact on who I am as a person. So your first project is gonna be a little rough. Like I said, not everything that we had planned came to fruition. That's all right. That's what the first project is for. I think it's impressive if you just do it. So I'm going to be starting the next project hopefully pretty soon here. Till then, I'll always be making content, so feel free to come back to the channel whenever you're looking for something new. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.
We cannot see what lies ahead, and most of the time, that makes it discouraging, if not utterly terrifying. Along the way, we will have questions, need to have questions, and we'll come to understand, as in college, that the more we learn, the more we come to realize how little we actually know. Because such transformative experience